it was also her. And Dr. Green was really good with that. When he does the body massage for you, he can say, he will say things like, you said it kind of something happens and we know what it was. We'll take care of it today, we're getting it out. Sure enough. Just massage and
What's your name? Hey, my name's Eric. I'm out of South Georgia, South Georgia.
Okay, Eric.
I'm a former Marine. I'm a service member. I've got about 13 years military service. I actually just got a discharge after about 13 years from the National Guard. I did 9 years with the Marine, 2 years with the Guard, and I've been to 2 combat tours in my time in, and I found out about protandim about a year and 3 months ago after I got back from Afghanistan, and I was in a bad way. I had a lot of PTSD issues, anxiety, and a lot of stress, and muscle problems in my back, and it was just not really. I wasn't myself when I got back home, but I can't take medications or anything like that because I have a deficient blood, and I found out about that through the screening that they sent you through. And I just wanted to, I just wanted to feel normal. I didn't, I get headaches, terrible migraines, and I couldn't, I couldn't think, I couldn't focus. I'd have, bad nightmares and things too. And once I got on protandim, it was almost an overnight, like it was relief. It felt like I was on the right track. I got, a good night's sleep. First night, I had great energy. My energy didn't last forever, not that I've been taking it, but overall, it's been a blessing. My wife thinks I'm calmed down. My anxiety is kind of, I don't have any skin problems, and it's just a blessing. I don't have migraines anymore. I actually went to the VA, and for my final physical, my processing and everything, and they did my health assessment, and everything came back. I didn't have sleep apnea. I didn't have asthma anymore. The only issue that was on my chart was my G6PD, which that's like a hereditary thing. So clean bill of health, and I'm loving it.
Eric, that is a good story. And Eric, would you do me a favor?
Yes.
Would you shoot me an email at Steve, S-T-E-V-E, at Kelsay, KELSAY.US, and give me your contact information. I've been trying to reach and find the stories of a number of our veterans and their experience with protandim and PTSD. And I'd like to talk with you further if possible.
Oh, most definitely, it would be my pleasure.
And because there is, last week on the call, I announced to the people on the call looking for and hoping that we could find some stories of different veterans who've been down this road and experienced it, because I brought out the fact of the suicide rate of our sandbox veterans and what they are going through, and that it's a staggering number at 18 a day. And it's a terrible thing, and I think that we have some answers, and I think you validate some of that in what you're saying, Eric, and I'm really very appreciative of your story. Okay, my email is Steve, S-T-E-V-E, at Kelsay, KELSAY.US.
KELSAY.
Correct. .US.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Well, Eric, that is wonderful. Thank you again. Who else would like to share their story? Just star 6 yourself.
This is Bill Blackwell, New Jersey.
Yes, Bill.
Listen, I have a little slight weight testimony, but first I'd like to commend that veteran to what he just said, and once you get the information from him, will you be able to make that available to us?
On the PTSD story, Phil, is that what you mean?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Dr. Marvin and I have talked about, Phil, what we're planning on doing is we're going to, one of the calls here in the near future, as soon as we can gather up several stories, and we're going to really make the whole call focused around this particular story of PTSD and our veterans. So I'm
very good. And if you give any prior notification, I would appreciate it, because I've got some veterans at my church that I would like to put on the call and make that information available to them at the same time. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we will do that, Phil. But that's we're working towards this one. We think this is something that we really want to do. But Phil, what's happened in Phil's life?
Phil is doing excellent. I'm a new distributor, and I'm signing my son up this coming week, and he's a runner. He runs about 4 or 5 miles every week, about 2 or 3 times a week. And I put him on the protandim, and he came back to me and he said, "Dad," he says, "I'm gonna tell you something." He said, "This stuff is unbelievable. Number one, he's sleeping a lot better, but he said the thing that impressed him the most was his energy level. He said for the first time since he's been running, he says at the end of his run, his speed is at the same level it is when he starts out, and he runs 4 or 5 miles. It's blowing him away, and he's coming in as a distributor."
Well, Phil, let me tell you a little story. If you look at, we've got 4 lectures up on True TV from Dr. McCord, and in one of those, and I'm sorry, I can't say exactly which one, Dr. McCord makes the statement referring to the study that the Department of Defense is doing on protandim. And in that, he makes the statement that what they're studying is that protandim seems to cause mitochondriogenesis. Now, what that means is that it causes some of the cells to make more mitochondria, and mitochondria is the engine that burns the fuel. So I'm guessing that probably in your son's case, and many athletes, that's like going from a V6 to a V8, because you got the ability for more horsepower. And he's proven it out in his running.
Yes, because I saw that video, and I've gone over a lot of the information, and that was what got him interested. And he told me, he says, "Everything you told me, Pop, is true." He says, "I'm a witness to it." And he's going to help me share this product with the world.
Well, keep up the good work. That's the right thing to do, Phil.
Absolutely, and thanks again for your time.
Okay. Who else would like to share their story? Just please star 6 and unmute yourself.
Hello?
Yes, who is this?
I'm going shopping too. Okay.
Jeannie? What is your
I
story, Jeannie?
do have a testimony.
Okay.
I'm tired.
My friend Mike and Linda McCoy, because my husband on this product, and he has had Parkinson's for 20 years. And now he hasn't been on it since maybe about a month and a half, 2 months. But the Parkinson's for 20 years, and then he has had dementia now for about 5 years. Now the thing that I've noticed so far, which was unbelievable, was all the medications that he's been on for all these years. He's become very constipated and impacted. I mean, it's really bad. And medications do. And since he's been on this product, he goes naturally. I don't know. Nobody told me anything about how this would affect his colon, but it has done wonders, because to where other over-the-counter medications weren't helping a whole lot, for his constipation. This is what worked wonders, and you just don't know how important it is when, you've been that constipated for this long. And so this has been great, and for that part. And I have noticed also that I pulled him off of 6 doses of Parkinson's meds a day for 3 different pills, 6 times a day for each one. And got him down to 2 to 3 doses a day. And Parkinson's, you freeze up, get, really bad and can't move or function neurologically. And what I've noticed is that where before, since I've weaned him down to the 2 to 3 doses, he was doing 3, but since he's been on the protandim, now I can do 2 doses, and every grade once in a while, 1 dose, and he still can function and move and feel okay. And I really give credit to this product, I really do. And I'm just praying I can eventually get him off of all of this stuff.
Well, that is wonderful, Jean. Have you noticed any difference in his response from the dementia?
Yes. Before he got to where he didn't know who I was, almost 98% of the time, and we didn't really know that until something would happen. We realized, he's not known who we were all day. But we're today, he went from that down to now he's doing very well with the dementia. He has maybe once every maybe once every week and a half he might have a little confusion there, which was the I'm sorry?
No, go ahead, Jean. That's just the background.
I just feel like with the dementia, cutting off the medications, of course they say it comes along with the disease, but I felt like it was medically induced also with all this mess, because once I started weaning him off things for about a year and a half, then, and I've told the neurologist, I've told everybody this, that, they just say, well, do what you're doing, because whatever you're doing is working. And so that's what we're doing. And now we're on this, and I'm hoping to move forward, and it will help him more and more each day. Here was the question that Mr. and Ms. McCoy wanted me to make sure I asked. On the protandim, should we, you said, I think that you could give them two a day. On that, should I give him 2 a day, and would you do it 2 in the morning, or 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, and then go back to 1? Or I don't know exactly what you were talking about on that. I didn't hear it.
Well, Jeannie, what Dr. Marvin has said in the past is, I would suggest that you call sometime tomorrow, and you go to the website. His cell phone number is up there, and I'm encouraging you to please call Dr. Marvin. He may join us later. We may make that call, but I think that you should get that directly. Oftentimes, from a general perspective, Dr. Marvin will say for someone who has some very serious issues that taking 2 protandim, 1 in the morning, 1 in the late afternoon, early evening, with food and plenty of water for a 2-week period. Since your husband has been through most of the detox process by having taken it now for 6 to 8 weeks, he would probably be past all of that. And that should, and after 2 weeks, then go back to 1 again. But let me encourage you, if you go to the website, which is docmarvin.com, there's a page up there with his contact information and his cell phone number, and he's always available for people with questions, so that's a really good story. Have you noticed have you done anything else different during this period of time other than you've been able to wean him of some of the drugs, but really the only other thing that you've added to his regimen has been taking the protandim now for the last 6 to 8 weeks?
Absolutely. And really, and I took him off of all the over-the-counter, like the Miralax and all that just, it just took forever for that to work. And when it did work, it was just not good at all. But this is, I'm telling you, where before, he wanted me right there with him when he went to the bathroom. I don't even know when he goes sometimes. It just does, over with. He just goes that naturally now. And I'm hoping that he goes more and more to where, this is helping him more and more in the bathroom so that he makes it, I think that he should probably be going twice a day, where now he's going maybe 3 times a week. And before it was like every 2 weeks. So, it is a really big difference.
But that's wonderful.
Well, I believe it is too, and I thank you, and I certainly thank the McCoys for bringing this product to us, and we are believers.
Well, we're very happy to hear of the results of your investment. That is just marvelous. Thank you, Gene.
You're welcome.
Who else would like to share their story with us? It's star 6 to unmute yourself.
Hi, this is Cindy Ansgar with East Texas.
Hi, Cindy. Go ahead.
I have an awesome testimony. I have hepatitis C. I was diagnosed 10 years ago. I acquired blood transfusions in the late 80s. And I have always tried to maintain good health or monitor or control my health challenges through natural alternatives. But I did get to a point with my hepatitis C that my doctor, who supports natural alternatives, said, we can't do anything more for you. It's gotten so bad you need to go see a specialist. Last year, in April, I started on the chemotherapy treatment for hepatitis C, including the newest drug that was approved in July, and I failed it miserably, and I have no medical options for my hepatitis C any longer. As of December 22nd, my virus load was over 18 million, and I started taking protandim on December 22nd, and I was not taking any other medications or any other natural alternatives. And within 30 days, my viral load dropped from 18 million to 15 million, and in the next 30 days, it's from 15 million.
Can you have her speak up, please?
Could you speak up a little bit, Cindy? They're having trouble hearing you. But I understood your virus load in December was 18 million, and after 30 days it dropped to 13, and then what was the next result?
30 days it dropped to 4.6 million, and in the next 30 days it did go back up to 7.7 million, but mostly what I wanted to share with you is my quality of life, my ability to function with hepatitis C. I'm in the beginning stages of the final stage of liver disease. I have cirrhosis of the liver, fibrosis of the liver, and some healthy tissues still left. And but my quality of life in regards to energy, joint pain, bilirubin, high bilirubin, all of those things have improved to the point that I have energy, I sleep well, I don't have joint pain unless I cause it by overdoing something. And it's allowed me to go back to the wellness center and work out. I'm walking an average of 3 miles an hour, 5 days a week. And that's something that I could not do before. It's just the most amazing thing. I have no other medical options available to me. I have a quality of life I did not have before, and look forward to enjoying from now on until I'm healed in some fashion. That I come to the Lord to do that.
That's so true.
I'm handed to my life for a reason.
Now, Cindy, are you continuing to notice some incremental improvements?
Actually, I'm not really noticing any other improvements, other than I sleep well now, I don't have joint pain, I have energy, where I am doing things I couldn't do before. I used to take 2 naps a day, and occasionally if I overdo it, I still have to take a nap now and then, but when I first started taking protandim after 2 weeks, my husband said, don't you think you should be taking a nap? And I was like, no, I feel wonderful. Let me have at it. So I started doing things that I was not able to do, entertaining people, doing my volunteer work for our local ministry. There's just so many more things that I can do now that I could not do before. And it's giving me a quality of life. And otherwise, if I just let the hepatitis C go, and the 18 million actually went up from when I got off the chemo treatment in July, my viral load was only at 10 million. So it had actually increased from July to December. So I was heading in the wrong direction, and this has actually turned me the other direction when I'm heading back down again. And I did take the protandim for 2 weeks at the beginning, because I had talked to someone in Arizona, and he had recommended hepatitis B, and he had recommended that I do that and get off of it. So I did do that. That was in the first 30-day period that I did that. But I found I had better results in the second 30-day period by not doing that. So, but my blood tests are turning back around again, so I'm thinking I'm going to go on to a day. Or I got on the call tonight because I really wanted to talk to Dr. McLean about his recommendation.
Yeah, I would think, and Cindy, hold on, I still expect that he's going to be able to be with us tonight. So just hang in there. If not, please give him a call on his cell phone number that's up on the website.
And that's at docmarbi.com, correct?
Yes, correct. DocMarbi.com.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great.
Steve, I've got
Okay, I'm going to mention to everyone to try to get rid of our background noise. I'm going to bring it back out.
Unmuted. Muted.
Okay, if you'd like to share your... I'm sorry, go ahead.
See, this is Winona in New Hampshire, and I have a testimony. I haven't heard anybody else talk about this issue. But any woman who's had children...
Yeah, Winona?
You want me to go ahead?
Yes, go ahead, Winona.
Okay. Just trying to say, any woman over 40 that's had children will know the issue that I'm talking about. Where you have leaky pipes, and I'm now approaching 75 years old. I actually had a test with a urologist, and I qualified for a surgical procedure, which I did not have. I've been on protandim now since the middle of January, so that's what, 4.5 months. And it's one of the final issues that my body has responded to. I no longer leak in the morning on the way to the bathroom with a full bladder. And I tried Netrol before. I hated the side effects. Was dealing with the issue rather than beyond those terrible medications, and I don't need anything anymore. Just protandim has taken care of the bladder issue. And what was happening was I would have a spasm, and that would cause leakage, and I had no control. Those spasms aren't very important.
That's a great report, Winona. I know that we've heard that from several people in the past over the last year, but it's always encouraging because the side effects of the drugs that they advertise on television is not pleasant.
No, they're terrible. And Steve, I have heard, I'm not a retired nurse, and I have heard many years ago that the most common reason for women entering a nursing home was because of the bladder issue. I don't know if that's still true, because they aren't admitting women, people in the nursing homes like they used to. But that used to be the most common issue for people not being able to stay home. So protandim is wonderful. So it's just one more of the internal, I call it an extreme internal makeover on my body. And this is the latest issue that is cleared up.
That's a good report, Winona.
And I hope to have a report for you. I see my optometrist, and I think it's next week. I have been diagnosed with a cataract on my left eye, and it was really bothering me to drive at night. And it wasn't that I saw a halo around light. I would have these it was like these shads of light were, that make my eye pain, and so I couldn't keep my eyes open if I was riding with my husband because the pain was so bad. I'm no longer experiencing that at night. My vision is better at night, so I'm very eager to have my appointment with my optometrist for the report. I'll let you know.
Give us an update. Thank you.
I will do that.
Who else would like, star six, who else would like to share?
Mr. Johnson from Georgia. I've got a client on the line that has a wonderful testimony from us, but had Alzheimer's.
All right, Sheldon, what are you?
Hello, this is Julia Hill.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
What are you making?
Okay, this is Julia
blanket.
Hill.
Oh,
And my husband was at Alzheimer's. After
first
1
time
month
making one.
on the
Okay, and when you finish it on that, you can
I know
stretch it out in
brain
pieces you
injury
want.
to my husband's mental clarity,
That is
cognitive skills
I'm glad you're able
improved,
to do that.
verbalization.
It gives you
He has
something
done
to
little
relax
ones
you
at
and
times
you
on
can
with
focus on.
conversation,
Yes.
and now he carries on conversations with me.
I just bought this yesterday at Walmart.
And if I
It's my
have
first time doing one of these like this long.
he didn't even tell me what he was watching. So it's like, I have a brand new husband. He does puzzles.
Just thank
He
the Lord for
puts things
the
in
use
proper
of our
sequence.
eyes and our hands.
Volunteers to help the chores around the house.
Every day of our lives, we get to touch somebody else's life.
So, I have a brand new
Smile,
husband.
your
Thank you
prayers,
very much.
your helping hand.
That's a good report. How long has your husband had that diagnosis of Alzheimer's?
On them. I told him that in home one day. I said, every day you get to touch. Same thing like I was telling you. He said, thank you, sir. He said,
And now he's back talking, things are coming back, and it's only been a month.
He says, I'm all right now. Because tomorrow I had planned to kill myself. He said, but after what you just said, I'm
And
all
I
right.
wanted to find out if there was an improvement. I knew what
Yeah,
Sarah
so thank you, Lord. Thank you for going to that man. I didn't know him, a stranger. For going to that man, saying those words, and then being able to lift him and giving good encouragement to him.
Wow.
So I continue to pray for you.
Thank you. You too.
And he's off of medications, and the only thing that he's doing is taking supplements.
Well, I was him off the therapy stuff. I did. I really did. I was going to see if it was really working. So the credit goes to protandim. Wait till the next round.
This man was latter stages of he would sleep day and night.
Effectively,
She's able to take him out to eat. He orders his food. She's like, he has a new husband.
That's a good investment of $40 bottle pills.
Yeah, he participates in activities at the senior center that we attend.
And tell how well he's doing, Julia.
Are you okay?
He's doing marvelous. I mean, he's participating with, I teach a class there, he participates in that class, he participates in the sewing class, he helps to, lay out materials, and, well, other times I thought he was colorblind, but, he can just mix colors and he can put stuff in the proper sequence now.
Maybe you better start teaching those people down there about what has made a difference.
Exactly, that's what I meant.
And get them ready to get them signed up as preferred customers that are making a difference in their loved ones' lives. Wow, what a story.
That's right. That's right. That's my friend too.
Wow. Incredible.
Julia, thank you for sharing with us tonight.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's
You're
right.
welcome.
Thank you for taking the call.
That brings a lot of these calls bring a lot of good stories of people's lives that bring hope where there doesn't seem to be hope. And that is a powerful thing.
Steve, can you hear me?
This is Steve. Go ahead, yes. Calling.
What'd you
This
say?
is Paul from Tulsa.
Making a blanket. Oh, nice.
Down in Texas.
See you later, ladies.
My
I
hairdresser
hope to get to see you tomorrow. That'll be good.
Four of her girlfriends, or three of her girlfriends, and them, they got drunk one night and got a tattoo. This is years ago. She's the only
was left alive. He had chemo for a whole year. We get a hold of Rita with my hairdresser.
Okay, if you want to, Cindy, if you're still on the line, if you would email me your contact information, and if anyone would like to connect with Cindy, you shoot me an email.
Was it Cindy or Rita?
I think it was Cindy.
I thought it was Rita from Texas.
Yeah, but
The hepatitis C.
are you still with us, Cindy or Rita?
I have it written down as Cindy. I'm taking notes.
Yeah, I have too. Cindy, if you would, Cindy, if you would please email me, steve@healthsay.us. I'll put you in touch with Paul. Paul will give you an email, and you can help that person and give them some hope.
It's Sandy, SANDYJS, Jackson Pratt, at 301 at...
Why don't you just please go ahead and shoot an email to me, Steve@Kelsay, KELSAY.US, and I'll work on making the connections if we're able to get a hold of Cindy there in Texas.
It's imperative that we do that.
We'll do the best we can. You betcha. Who else would like to share their story tonight?
I would.
Go ahead, who's that lady?
My name is Miranda, and I'm in South Central Washington. And I started taking protandim the beginning of April this year. And several things I've noticed. For 3 days, I noticed a huge energy, and I started sleeping better. When we were shoulder surgery. And the doctor had me stop taking it. I wanted to quit taking it for 2 weeks before surgery, and I forgot. So I did for about 10 days, and now I wish I had meds. But I went back on it after my shoulder surgery, and which was the 24th of April. And I had never really tolerated pain medicine very well. And after a few days after my surgery, I started back on the protandim, and that helped me tolerate the Percocet. And since my surgery, I've lost 14 pounds without even trying, because I think it's my metabolism still young. And I have better concentration and all of that. I haven't had any allergy problems, which is the first time in 20 years. And I haven't taken allergy medication or had any headaches. And it helped control the pain, I think, from the surgery, because I have a pretty major shoulder surgery. I hardly even had to take the medicine for about 10 days, and I quit. And it hasn't been too bad. My blood pressure has went down from fairly high to regular, and it hasn't been like that for a long time. I've twice had renal failure, and I was taking natural supplements for my kidneys, and I have been able to quit taking that. And I have also noticed that my joints don't hurt, and they're not stiff and crackling anymore. And all of that has just been basically in about 5 weeks.
That's such a good report.
That is a great story, Lorinda. What happens, and we see this in many of those different cases, we'll see in individuals, that you really racked up a whole bunch of the things that we see in people in a short period of time.
I did, and I was so excited. I became a distributor the middle of May, and so many people could tell the difference in me so fast that I went pro 1 in 2 weeks. I'm already, and I'm getting ready to have more blood work that I had not been a week or two before I started on the protandim. And so I'm excited to see, like, if my triglycerides or, any changes, I will report that as I learn anything more. But I feel so much better that I'm just keep expecting more and more things to keep changing.
Well, when you do a search on PubMed.gov and you find out how many different diseases have oxidative stress tied together with them, there's a lot of opportunity for change.
Yes, and I have been looking at that, sharing that with many others, and it is very impressive. For me, the change was so quick, I was very excited and wanted to share.
One thing that I don't want you to do, Lorinda, don't let that enthusiasm wane. You've got a good why. You got a good why about what protandim has done for you, and you can go out and share that with a lot of people and make a difference in people's lives.
It is such a blessing because so many people that were really struggling with having energy when they get home from work or several things. People I know that have started on the protandim that, you know, a couple people tried to share a bottle and they could hardly order the whole bottle fast enough because they didn't want to do without it. And it's just a blessing to hear positive reports all the time. It's just really wonderful.
That's the good thing. We've been doing this call, Dr. Marvin's call now for a year. This is the end of 1 year tonight that we've been doing this on Tuesday night. And I have been here with Dr. Marvin that whole time. And the amount of stories that we've heard from people is just wonderful. We have, there is Gabe Pearson gives a pro audio lecture on one of the recent CDs that came out as part of the pro audio series called Bulletproof. And when you've heard all of these wonderful stories about what protandim has done to change the lives of people and to bring hope where there wasn't hope, it makes you very bulletproof.
Yes.
And we're doing, it's a good thing. Keep up the good work, Lorinda.
I will.
You'll be, if you keep it up, you're a Pro 1 working on being a Pro 10, so keep it up.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorinda. Who else would like to share their story tonight? We have a little bit of time left.
Steve, this is Wayne in Calgary.
Wayne, good to hear from you. What are you going to share with us?
A year ago, I had triple bypass, and 2 weeks before my operation, I started to take protandim. And the operation went great, and my doctor was saying that I was healing miraculous, and my heart specialist was commenting on unbelievable healing. Anyways, my doctor put me onto a statin for cholesterol as a preempt. So I was presently on Crestor, but there's Lipitor and Mevacor, and there's a bunch of statin drugs for cholesterol. Anyway, just lately, I noticed an unexplained weight gain around the middle, and I haven't changed my diet. And yesterday, I had a haircut, and I noticed I was getting baldness on the back of my neck, spots on my face, spots on my legs. I've noticed over the last few months slight memory problems, body aches, leg cramps at night, tremors in my hands after lifting and carrying weight, shoulder aches, ringing in my ears. It's like a tinnitus.
Yes.
And my eyesight was just deteriorating really quick, that I need glasses to read anything. Anyways, I was talking to Dr. Marvin, and it turns out that these statins, this is a very, very common side effect, for a preempt drug that I really don't need to take. So anyways, Dr. Marvin recommended protandim, carry on with the protandim, and to go with a natural supplement like red yeast rice.
Yes.
With his advice, we started that today, and I'm going off this pharmaceutical that is poisoning me, and it's probably doing the same with thousands and thousands of people
was, I believe, was put up by two different departments of the FDA that is going to require that the statin drugs have additional warning labels printed on them because of the increased side effects and other things that are happening to people who are taking the statin drugs. So that's worth researching for people that are taking the statin drugs and asking your doctor about that. I know that one of the things that they spoke in an article I was recently reading was that there was a warning label going to be put on that type 2 diabetes was a strong potential side effect of the statin drugs. So there are more and more things that they're learning, and it's wise for everyone, just like you have, Wayne, of managing your own health, asking the questions, and looking for all of the alternatives so that you can best manage your health.
I wished I ran into Dr. Marvin years ago when he was still actively practicing.
He had a long career as an MD. My sister-in-law was Dr. Marvin's patient.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Wayne, for sharing that. And be sure and give us an update after you get some lab work back.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Wayne. Who else would like to share their story tonight?
Steve, this is Cindy with the Hep C again.
Hi, Cindy.
I tried to send you an email and it got rejected, so I must not have it spelled right.
Okay, it's Cindy. It's Steve, S-T-E-V-E, at Kelsay, KELSAY.US.
Okay. I left that, so it's KELSAY. That's I left Y off. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. That's it's a good Irish name. My grandfather came over here 7 generations ago. Who else would like to share the story?
Steve, this is Gina in Norfolk.
Hi, Gina.
And I shared mine a couple weeks ago about macular degeneration in my eyes, and went for my appointment 2 weeks ago, and he said there was no bleeding or hemorrhaging or extra blood vessels growing in the back of my eyes. And so, and I told him, or he asked me what I was doing different, and I told him about taking protandim, and then he asked me to send information. So I'm in the process of doing that. But yesterday, I have to also go to a blood specialist, and my blood is really thick, and we're working on trying to get it thinned. But anyway, that doctor is in the oncology area of the cancer center here in Norfolk.
Okay.
And my numbers went down when I was in there yesterday, and he said, have you been doing anything different? And I told him, I said, well, really the only thing I've been doing is drinking a lot of extra water and taking protandim. And he asked me about it. So now I'm going to get him some information too. But when I was in there yesterday, the thing that I was most excited about was, for the past few months, my blood pressure, when they take my blood pressure, it's been in the 140. And when they took my blood pressure yesterday, I'm 53 years old, and it was 118/70. And I was thrilled.
That's a good report, Gina. And the numbers are dropping on your blood work that show that your blood is thinning out. Is that what I'm understanding you to say?
Well, the blood was a little bit thinner this time than it was 2 months ago. We're still working on that, but the blood pressure was down from 144/80 something to 118/70.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
Yeah. Well, she goes, she said, there's teenagers that come in here that their blood pressure isn't that low.
Well, didn't you tell me you were 20 on the inside?
Yes, I did. I've been close to it anyway, so I just thought that was really good.
That's great. Thank you for sharing, Gina. Who else would like to share their story tonight?
Can you hear me, Steve?
Yes.
This is Hazel, and I'm from Illinois, and I nearly died they only gave me 2 days to live last year because of my blood. I have next to the rarest blood, and they could not find any blood to match. And so they came as close as they could, and they gave me 2 units of blood. Fortunately, my body did accept the blood. But I was very, very weak. I had no phone calls because I couldn't talk to anyone, and I was in bed most of the day. So I did survive because of blood transfusions. But I started on the protandim in the 1st of April, and I have macula, and 5 days after taking the protandim, they could find no fluid and no fresh blood, and it was never to get any better. They kept giving me shots in my eyes, the eyeballs, every time I went, which is quite often, and they said that we're just going to keep it from getting any worse. It was not going to get any better. But when I got on the protandim in 5 days, I had no fluid, no fresh blood, and that was a thrill, and they just couldn't believe it. I took the protandim one evening with my supper meal. This was when I got it the 1st of April and of this year, and I had a very serious kidney problem 55 years ago, and they just gave me a short time to live then, and I am the lone survivor of that condition. But it was supplements, nutritional supplements that saved my life at that time. So I've been in nutrition for over 55 years because of the many health issues that I've had, and nutrition has always saved my life until this last summer. I was very seriously ill with my blood condition. But when I took the protandim, I had to get up about 4 or 5 times every night because of my bad kidney condition. And when I took that for supper, I went to bed at 8:30, and then I woke up, and I thought, well, this is my first time, 10 o'clock, to go to the bathroom. I looked at my watch, it was 5 o'clock. I slept all night, the first time in many years. Then, the next day, I took my protandim for breakfast time, and I was up all day. I never thought about going to bed, and I was spending my days in bed. I was so weak, I couldn't talk to people on the phone, and I got on the phone. I made Pro-3 in my first month, and at the end of the first month. But I got on the phone, and I was just calling everybody because of what it had done for me. Now, just 2 weeks ago, I went to the doctor for my blood work, and they took 4 vials of blood, checked that, and whatever they do with that, and I'm not a nurse, I just don't understand that. But anyway, they checked it out, and then they gave me a physical and said my lungs and my heart and my liver and everything was fine. And she got on the computer and she checked out my blood, and there were 7 different things she was checking it for. Number 1, I don't remember what the term was, but she named it, and she says perfect. Number 2, perfect. Number 3, wow, perfect. Number 4 on up to 7, they were all perfect. She said, just a minute, I'll be back. She went out and got another doctor in. They wanted to know what I was doing. I had a bottle of protandim in my purse, and I showed it to them. They went out, and she says, I'll be back in a minute. And they just, I don't know, they were puzzled because my blood was perfect, and I don't think they'd ever seen that before. And my blood was terrible before.
That's a great story, Hazel. And there's another good thing that you brought up in what you just said there. One of the best things you can do is keep an extra bottle of protandim in your purse.
Yes. And I was not smart enough to talk to anybody on the phone, Steve, prior to taking protandim, but I just started sharing with people because I felt so much better, and everybody wanted this product yesterday. They didn't want to wait 5 days. They wanted it yesterday.
So how long did you have macular degeneration before April? Before you started protandim?
I had it for 5 or 6 years, and it's been real bad. I had a lot of blood. I actually went blind, but now, and I cannot see perfectly yet, but I can see out of it. I can distinguish who people are at this point in time. And I am so grateful to protandim. I just can't say enough about protandim and about their comp plan. It is the greatest I've ever seen. I've been in nutrition for over 55 years, and this is the greatest product I have ever seen in my life. And I've been with some very good programs.
Yeah, this is a breakthrough, unique product, people, and no one, I don't think anyone can ever sit down and come up with as many stories as what we've seen. If I go back over the last year of doing this Tuesday night call, and the diversity of stories, the amount of improvement, and one of the only things that always shows up as the differentiator is they took one little yellow pill and swallowed and drank water.
My arthritis left in 2 days. The pain in my knee, my left hip. I've got so many testimonies, just myself. And I am getting calls, Steve, from these people thanking me and thanking me and thanking me for introducing it to them.
Keep up the good work, Hazel.
I'm going to, Steve.
Hazel, may I ask you a question?
You know what, Steve? I am going to be 90 years old in 4 months.
Bless you.
Thank you for saying that, Hazel. I had a lady come on and ask me one night because she was 91 if she really ought to go ahead and start her business. So I told her, look, if you're even questioning it, I think you need to do it.
Well, if she would call me, I'll tell her what my first month's check was.
Good for you, Hazel. Which part of Illinois are you in?
Near Peoria.
Okay.
And I have some distributors on the line tonight. I know they're on there, and they just love this call. And I would not miss this call for anything, never, because we learned so much, and all these testimonies that you've gotten tonight are just precious. I wanted to be a missionary when I was a teenager, and that didn't happen. But I feel this is a mission field, and this is my mission work. Now, I'm helping.
And as that check continues to grow, Hazel, it gives you the ability to support missions.
Oh, I am. My first check, I've already given it to a mission. The 10%. Okay.
Yeah, there is a lot of people who have found a way to be able to do part of their why by the financial rewards that come out of being a business distributor with LifeVantage. And it's, if you go on Dr. Marvin's website, drmarvin.com, you'll find on there his own story as to why he's doing it. And Dr. Marvin's why is big enough to make you cry. And if your why isn't big enough to make you cry, then you need to go back and rethink it, because that's what makes you get up in the morning, that's what makes you want to go share it and make a difference in people's lives. Because that is the very thing that will cause you to get through the hard parts, the rejections, or the other things that sometimes come along, and everybody gets it. But it's what drives people to continue to share and cause so many good things to happen in the lives of people.
I had sinus since I was a child, 12, 13 years old. It would take me 2 hours every morning to just cough and cough and cough the phlegm because I couldn't swallow it. And I do not. And I've done this for many, many years up until now, and I don't cough at all. Another testimony. I've got many more testimonies.
And you're unusual, Hazel, because you've been using natural products for 50 plus years. And so what's so unique about this is that, and like myself, my wife and I have both used good 15 to 20 years, but nothing changed like it has with introducing protandim.
Right.
Nothing else has worked this way.
Well, my husband has almost lost me 5 times in our marriage. We've been married 66 years, and it's always been nutrition that saved my life until I did have to go to the doctor with this blood problem because I needed transfusions, and they didn't expect me to live. They only gave me 2 days to live, but they did find the blood that came close to mine, and there again, God blessed me because I survived, and this is why I survived, because He wants me to help many, many hurting people.
I agree, Hazel. Thank you.
I have somebody on the line tonight, and they're going to give their testimony. It is going to be even better than mine.
All right, who is that?
Well, they're not ready to give their testimony yet.
Okay, well, then we'll get them on another night then.
Yes, it'll be a little while because but it's doing great things for them, and I am so grateful. And I have so many that have had some very serious problems, and they just can't thank protandim enough for what it has done for them. And I am so grateful for this company. It is wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you, Hazel. Let's go ahead and open it up for another person who would like to share their story. If you want to unmute yourself.
Steve, this is Cynthia from Spokane, Washington.
Hi, Cynthia.
I want to share with the people that I have been diagnosed with multiple myeloma, like Dr. Marvin's daughter. And I have to tell you that protandim, I've been on it for 4 months, and it has miraculously did a number on me that has been so good. And my doctors tell me that they believe that I will never, this is an incurable cancer of the bone marrow. And they tell me that my blood work is so good on the protandim that they're certain that I will not die of this. That it's amazing what protandim is doing for me. And I also have been plagued with bladder infections all my life. And now I have never had one single infection since I've been on protandim. I have no flu, no colds, no nothing. And I have been healthier than I've ever been in my whole 65 years of living. And I just recently became a distributor, and I have several wonderful stories. One was a young man that was ready to commit suicide, and now he's clinically depressed, and now he's completely healed of depression because of protandim. So I just have nothing but good to say about it, and it is a wonderful product. And I'll continue to give my testimony as my doctors tell me, keep on doing what you're doing because it works. Praise the Lord.
Right. That's right, Cynthia. And give us an update when you get some more results back and down the road here. That's great. We appreciate that. There's a lot of folks that, especially people don't think that bladder infections are in their own right are just enough of a nuisance. Isn't it nice to be able to be free of that?
Yes, it sure is. Very much. Very much. And the energy that I have is unbelievable. I feel better than I've felt 30 years. And my daughter has started on it, and her dog is like a puppy now, and she is just, she's a nurse, and she has a lot of contacts, and she's starting people on it just in unbelievable amounts because it is helping so many people. So it's a wonderful product, and I wouldn't be afraid to give it to children either that are sickly from, being in schools and getting flus and colds, because it stops it all, and I am just sold on it. Wonderful product, and thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Well, I think we've probably got about time for one more. We got another testimony someone would like to share.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, last call.
Where's Dr. Marvin tonight?
Well, Dr. Marvin was doing a meeting in Kansas City with Marcel Niederhauser, and they expected to be done in time for him to be able to join the call, and we had anticipated and hoped that both he and Marcel are the master pro-tem of the company, would be able to join us tonight, but some things must have happened to make that undoable. So Dr. Marvin will join us again as we're actually going to be. That will be our anniversary call next week as we start a new year of doing this call. Since we've done it, we're finishing up 1 year of these Tuesday night calls tonight.
Oh.
But it'll be back to the regular format next week. And let me just remind everyone that there's a lot of information available up on Dr. Marvin's website. That's docmarvin, DocMarvin.com. The recorded call information is up there. And the call tonight it won't be there, it'll be up there, but it'll be call number 18 as far as the dial-in number for the replay. Let me remind everyone that only a drug can cure, mitigate, or prevent a disease, and protandim is a supplement, but the thing that we know about protandim is that it reduces oxidative stress, age-dependent oxidative stress, in 100% of the people, 100% of the time, an average of 40% in 30 days. And even the test results show that over 90 days, it'll reduce it up to 70%. And when you consider what that means, I think we just heard a lot of stories that validate that truth. So until next week, it's been a pleasure to be on here, and it's been a lot of fun to hear so many good stories, and I want to thank everyone that's been a part of it tonight and was bold enough to step up to the microphone and let the people across the nation and across Canada share their stories. And to all, a good night, and may God bless. Good night.
Thank you. Steve, could I ask a quick question? Your conference recording has stopped.
Okay, I just stopped the recording. Someone had a question?
I'm sorry, I'm calling from Australia. It's just that a friend of mine has had to have both his aorta and his mitral valve repaired or replaced twice.
Oh.
Now, I've been trying to urge him, he's had the last surgery, I've been trying to urge them to go onto the protandim. Obviously it will help, I know it will.
Oh, yes. I'm convinced of that also. I'm not an MD, but I will say this, that, of course, you know, there are 2 heart studies on the website that have been published. If you go to pubmed.gov,
Yes.
the VCU study and the Ohio State study both are dealing with the benefits to the heart.
Right.
If you would you please shoot me an email so that we can get in touch? I would, Dr. Marvin and I have talked about, we've got a number of distributors there in Australia, and we're trying to put together probably a different time that's more conducive to the hour of the day for you there. I think, is it 8 o'clock in the morning?
Well, it started at 11 o'clock in the morning, our time.
Okay.
And of course a lot of people are working. Yes.
Yes. So we are going to perhaps be able to do an occasional call or something on a regular basis that will help many of the folks there in Australia.
So we can still listen to your call, can we?
Absolutely.
Steve, I live for that call.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yes.
And it's
Steve.
Yes?
Thank you. I know she's talking about the heart. Is there any testimonials about anybody having arrhythmia, when your heart is not pumping properly?
Well, the gentleman, Ron from Vancouver, came on tonight who had atrial fibrillation for 40 years.
Uh-huh.
And he's a 79-year-old male from Vancouver, and his own story tonight was that after 7 months on protandim, it's gone.
My father now, they just found, he has that, and they might have a shock of heart, they give him a pacemaker, so I don't know, I was wondering if this would help.
I think
when are they going to open up Canada?
As far as from the distributor standpoint, I haven't heard a date. I think that it's probably held up for getting people website is available for, and there is a de facto registration tree that is being created and tracked, so that when they are able to release Canada for distributorships, that will be they'll be able to deal with that.
I've got some people that are patiently waiting to become distributors.
Hopefully, maybe I'll ask Dr. Marvin that question also. She's been able to spend today and yesterday with Marcel Niederhauser, and of course, Marcel, as a Pro-10, certainly has a different knowledge base than any of us. I'm making a note. I'll ask him about if there's any update that we can hear about Canada.
Thank you.
Steve?
Yes.
Could you, once again, how soon can we recapture tonight's call? And is that on, the number again? How soon will it be available?
It's up there right now. It's probably processed by now. When I stop the recording, it's up there, and it's call number 18.
But as I'm looking at them on the internet right now, and the highest number is number 15. So is it going to... So I'm not seeing anything about 15.
Okay, what that really means... Now, remember how you access the call is you dial in it ends in 1799.
Okay.
Put in the conference code number, 200765. And then, after you've done that, then just punch in 18, and that will take you to tonight's call. The webmaster is often, is sometimes behind in being able to get those numbers updated for us. That's something I'm able to do.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yeah, the call is there. And then if you go from last week's, of course, 1716, even though they don't show there, both of the May 29th and May 22nd call are available just by punching in the numbers.
Very good. Thank you.
You betcha.
Steve, remember I was just talking about the arterial. Is that the same thing as the heart pumping properly?
You're getting into an area where I don't have that level of medical knowledge. I know that probably, you may want to refer to take a look at the VCU heart study that was published in Circulation magazine. That may open up some ideas, and also either of those, if your father is seeing a heart specialist, there are many cardiologists that once they have seen these studies are very impressed. There's one cardiologist that I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, has become a very active distributor because of what he saw protandim in those research reports was able to do.
And my father's on his medicine now, on the blood thinners and everything, so I don't know. Would that interfere with anything?
No, there is no contraindication with any...
It's Dr. Mark Gordon.
Oh, yes, it's Dr. Gordon. He's a cardiologist who's become a very active distributor. But the blood thinners that there's no restrictions on taking protandim and taking blood thinners.
Okay.
There's no interaction. Now, there are other supplements that they don't want you to be taking when you're taking those blood thinners, but those are usually ones that have some form of leafy green vegetable, like the vitamin K from the heavy green leafy vegetable. There's nothing like that in protandim. These herbs are completely safe, and there's no drug interactions.
Very good. Okay, we're trying to put on, I have another product, but maybe I'll put them on this now.
I would
no energy. He has no energy. He wants to sleep all the time because the heart's not pumping right.
Sure.
And people have energy, so.
Yeah, I can tell you stories, but, I can't tell you third-party stories. I've heard from distributors in my own group that have had dramatic turnarounds in similar situations to what you're describing. And I would strongly recommend that you start your father as soon as possible on taking the protandim. The overall benefit to his general health, if that were only the benefit, it would be certainly well worth it.
He also has a COPD.
All of the above will be influenced. If you go on to PubMed.gov, that's PubMed.gov, and put in
So work for that too, huh? Okay.
Well, oxidative stress is involved in all of those kinds of issues. I'm going there myself right now. If I do a search, there are 835 medical journal reports on the search terms oxidative stress COPD that tie those things together.
Wow. Great. Awesome.
So, I mean, it'd be well worth your time to go to that website and do some exploring around, look at some of the abstract articles of interest and that relate to that. It will show you a lot. And it is a site that is, this is the United States government's library of published medical journal articles. So, this is not like a Google search. This is something that has references, has accountability, has the scientific community behind it.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll put them on it because I have a couple extra bottles now. I'll put them on it.
I think for your sake, that's a good decision.
Right. Thank you, Steve.
You betcha. Well, good night to everyone.
Again, good night. Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, Steve.
Good night.